Every 20 years, we Floridians get the opportunity to revise the state constitution, add a little here, take out a little there. In November, we get to vote on a series of proposals. ABC 7's Erica Jackson joins us with what you can expect. Erica.
Alan, thank you. Florida is the only state in the country that asks voters every 20 years to review the Constitution and make changes. The amendments placed on the ballots are picked by the CRC. Their work is done, and the rest is up to you.
You have a chance to really make a difference in the life of all Floridians.
Sarasota County tax collector Barbara Ford Coates will go down in history as one of just 37 members of the 1998 Florida Constitution Revision Commission. She calls it some of the best years of her life.
The feeling and the responsibility is quite significant.
The Constitution Revision Commission only comes around every 20 years. It certainly is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Now Ford Coates is handing the torch off to former Senator Lisa Carlton. She's back in Sarasota full-time after approving revisions to the general election ballot.
Our voters in Florida are extremely smart, and they will be able to read these amendments and decide for themselves whether this is something they would like to vote for and they would like to see in the Constitution or not.
Voters will see a total of 13 proposed amendments on the November ballot, 5 of them coming from citizens' initiatives and legislative resolutions, and 8 from the CRC. The commission had to scale down its 100 ideas to about 20. And instead of overwhelming voters with 24 amendments on the ballot, the CRC bundled those changes into just 8 proposed amendments.
If there are a number of proposals and a person looks at them and believes there's a greater good, even though they're in one amendment, then they should vote for it.
For example, voters will decide if they want to require supermajority approval from College Board of Trustees and governors for the school to raise tuition fees, and require the state to offer free tuition to relatives of first responders who die in the line of duty. Both of those issues are combined in one proposed amendment.
If you're putting together changes where reasonable citizens may want to vote one way on one of those changes and vote a different way on the other change, then I think that's dicey. It's not necessarily fair to the voters.
What they're now calling bundling, it sounds like it's a negative, but I'm not so sure that's accurate.
One idea you won't see on the ballot, a reversal to an amendment passed in 1998. 20 years ago, voters approved a change to the Constitution that opened primaries if there was no choice for voters in their political party. But there was a wording issue, allowing a write-in candidate to close the primary, a technicality Ford Coates missed when she wrote the amendment.
Had any of us known on the Style and Drafting Committee that write-ins would close that primary, we would have added that in 1998.
This revision commission 20 years later looked as if they were going to close that write-in loophole, but they didn't. At the end, it didn't get the required votes to go on the ballot.
Carlton says revising the state constitution is a rewarding process, adding now it's up to constituents to research the proposals before the general election.
Ultimately, the voters will be the judge of the amendments, not the commission itself.
This is the first time all amendments had to get 60% of commissioner support to make it on the ballot. Commissioner Carlton says if the proposal can't get support from 60% of the CRC, it likely won't get passed by 60% of voters, which is what is needed to become a constitutional amendment.
Erica, thank you.